several years ago, and I mentioned that I've had a 14-year background as a competitive ballroom dancer. 14 years ago, I was preparing to go out the front door on the way to Montreal for a competition the next day. I was getting my very heavy luggage ready to go out the front door. And just before I was leaving, it started to sleep. And as I swung my very heavy suitcase out, my foot caught, my foot buckled, and I didn't know what I did, but I knew it wasn't good. So I managed to get the luggage out, made it to the airport, hobbled to our gate. By then it was snowing like crazy at Dulles Airport. Plane is canceled, hobbled back to the car and went home. The next day, I decided I need to go see a doctor. And I called ahead and I went over, and by then we had 13 inches of snow. I should add that in, which was significant. And I called over to the local Walgreens and asked if they had crutches. They said yes. I said, great, I'll be there. They said, well, our parking lot isn't shoveled. I said, don't worry about that. So I actually drove through the drive-in window. I pulled up and I told them that I had just called about getting some crutches. And they said, well, we only give out prescriptions at this window. And I said, well, today you do crutches. Could I get the crutches, please? Here's my card. Got the crutches, off I went to the hospital. And about an hour later, I was sitting on a table at Sibley Hospital and I was told that my foot was fractured. It was going to be a significant injury, 14 weeks in healing. And the doctor said to me, I mentioned that I had competitions coming up, and she said to me, I'm sorry, this is inconvenient for you. And she started out the door. I asked her to come back. I pulled out my phone and I showed them a picture of my dance partner and teacher. And I said, I don't have 14 weeks. She doesn't have 14 weeks. This is her livelihood. So I'm going to bring all of these things into my healing process, including I'm going to put a freezer in my office, which I did. And I said, what can you do to help me? But the doctor, she was great, actually. I iced 8 times a day. I had physical therapy. I did all sorts of things. I did my cardio and my dance routines with my arms to keep my cardio good, in good shape. I never missed a practice. We changed all my routines. I chased her around on crutches. Once I got off the crutches, I used my boot and I learned to spin. And on the bottom of the boot, there was a little point, just like a rocking chair. And I could spin and spin and spin. And we put new spins in all my routines. It was a very difficult time, but it was one of our best times. And within 7 weeks, not 14, in 7 weeks, I was dancing, and 4 weeks later, we were competing in Los Angeles. What does that have to do with your business? It has a lot to do with your business. Just as I sat on a doctor's table, and got a very difficult diagnosis, I think we just all sat on a doctor's table and have been told that this is going to be extremely difficult. Our companies are going to be changed. Our jobs are going to be changed. We have to learn to think differently. And in order to do what may be necessary, what are you willing to do differently? It may not be what we usually do here. So I just want to get you thinking that there may be some things that up until now might have been exceptional, but now they're going to be part of the day-to-day routine. Barbara, did you have other questions?